March 4th, Wednesday, 7:30 or 7:24 rather. Hope everybody's doing well. Got a little bit of sniffle action going on, but nothing too crazy. I think I should be able to power through this mild sickness, I suppose you could say I have. I don't feel sick, but I don't. It's probably not. I wouldn't expect it to make much sense. Hey, how you doing? Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, we have a lot of stuff to talk about here. A lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get to that, I have to measure this driveway here. I'll tell you why we have to measure it. So basically, I guess the city of Wayne apparently wants to, that's right, they want to talk business, right? So apparently they're gonna be serious. I will believe it when I see it, obviously. Obviously the entire world hopes that the city of Wayne will start to get serious. We have no choice. At some point we have to, guys. But apparently they want to come to the negotiating table. They want to come to a cordial conversation. So we'll see. The state, or I guess the city retained attorney. So I'm in discussion with her, and she seems like a pretty reasonable. I use the word lady, but she's a young lady. She ain't but maybe 30 some years old, early 30s, and I think she's maybe late 20s. But younger girl, and seems to kind of get it a little bit more than your average. Definitely gets it more than, let's say, Carrie Miller or Michael Bosnick. I'll tell you that. She seems reasonable. Now, obviously, that all could be smoke and mirrors, and usually it is. But they want to try to negotiate on the pool and the limestone pad that I'm measuring right now. So we're 5 feet here. Let me give you a look here. So the first, one of the lawsuits is over this limestone pad. You can't see it very well, but this is the limestone. Doesn't. So we're gonna try to compromise with them on that, at least. That way we can devote more time towards, the bread and butter, which is the sign lawsuit, and obviously the Fourth Amendment, the curtilage break-in, search and seizure without a warrant, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that is I guess, how would I say, of more precedence, you could say. So the Melanie's her name. She seems to be in agreement that we need to work something out. So that's what we're hoping to do. It would be nice. It would be nice to be able to devote our time and our resources towards, kind of the bread and butter, brass tacks, which would be the sign lawsuit, and of course the real, or I guess the big lawsuit rather, the more consequential lawsuit. It's a better way to phrase it, which would definitely be the fire pit, Fourth Amendment, for Fourth Amendment case. So that's probably, hopefully. So basically, did you ask about the 4-story deep underground nuclear bunker permit? Sorry, wrong. No, but that does sound pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. That does sound pretty badass. So 25 by, we'll say 25 by 25 roughly. That's what we'll call it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe not quite that much. Maybe about 25 by 25 by 20. 25 by 25. If you average it out, it's probably closer to 25 by 25. But basically, this parking pad, the city is willing to, apparently, allegedly, supposedly, extend the driveway out. And then they're going to let me have a smaller size pad, I guess. I planned on doing concrete eventually anyways, most of it. That was my plan anyways, was to basically, for a long time, to get moved. They moved this tension cable back about, I'd say from the end of the driveway here. It was at the end of the driveway, right around here. And it was in the way, and DTE moved it back. So we're very appreciative of that, obviously, and that's allows us to this space, right? Because the engineers don't like concrete because it's not permeable. Well, what do they like then? What am I building? I'm just extending my driveway out. I'm just extending the driveway because this is kind of basically due to some of my medical issues. I prefer to park, rocky like this kind of. I get better grip than some gravel. They prefer blacktop. Yeah, maybe we can do asphalt. You can have concrete and then do asphalt, right? I'm assuming you can just, make this part asphalt. But yeah, that was kind of my plan, was to basically this utility line, so that way you still have some stone over here. Yeah, I'd be willing to put all concrete, I guess. I'm willing to do it, but it's obviously going to drive up the cost considerably. So, and then of course, maybe we can figure something out. But yeah, pretty much the plan for this is just leave me the hell alone, and eventually I'll get it more what they're looking for. And I think they've kind of more or less decided that they're willing to squash the issue from the sounds of it, from what I'm kind of gathering. So assuming that is accurate, then I think that's enough. And then as far as the pool, the same thing. You know, they're willing to meet me halfway, getting it up to code, because they missed it, right? They you know, certificate of occupancy didn't pan out, I guess, the way they had hoped, or you know, there were some things missed, let's say, and you know, they're willing to meet me halfway on it. So I mean, if that's the case, then you know, I'm willing to do that. You know, if they'll pay 50% down the middle in expenses for everything, for the pool. And then as far as the concrete goes, you know, I don't have any issue with it how I have it. You know, and I probably would have already had concrete down if this had the city not fucked with me. So looks like asphalt but is cement. Okay. My neighbor got black dice cement. It's badass, dude. I want to kind of, like I said, I want to extend it in. I want to extend it out here because they're gonna redo the driveway for the driveway. And then I was thinking maybe just fill all this limestone in with concrete, but I want to leave a little space right over here. That was kind of the compromise, is like stone basically here, you know, like have a little bit of stone, like a vehicle width's worth of stone, and then everything else can be concrete. Or I guess fuck it, everything else can be concrete, and then there's a special coating, I suppose, or could probably utilize for the concrete. So yeah, we'll come. It sounds like hopefully on both issues, and then we don't have to spend any more time, get half the money back, and 50-50. That's what I told him. I said, look, you know, I'm willing to meet you halfway on those, and saves you from having to become public record, right? So I mean, that's kind of I would say a win-win for everybody, and that's what the judge is certainly pushing. So you know, judges obviously have a lot of control and influence, and you know, negotiating power, let's say. So if we can hopefully, me and the city, through the help of the attorney, City of Wayne attorney Melanie, she's seems willing to get down to business and get a solution on the table and get it settled and wrapped up. So that's obviously you know, it's in everybody's best interest, let's be frank. I mean, you know, it's not cheap to do lawsuits, and they're time consuming and they're expensive, and you know, there's quite frankly just more issues, right, that we need to get into. Sign, I mean, because the sign and the Fourth Amendment violations, those obviously I would say impact more people, right? The pool and the parking pad, although there are medical necessity, and you know, they're certainly important, right? They're certainly you know, especially for, you know, me individually with my disabilities and service connected disabilities, it's imperative that I you know, can move around safely and effectively on my property. So you know, there's got to be a compromise either way, but you know, that like I said, I'm willing to meet them halfway if they'll meet me halfway on that, and you know, then we can focus on, I guess, the money of it, the crux of it. So sounds like that's where it's going, and hallelujah, hallelujah, for sure.